How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Apologies first of all for not posting a whole lot of videos this year. I've had plenty going on outside of making videos, but what I want to talk to you about, given the fact that we're pretty well into the middle of July at this point, is how I can assure you that you will have a better deer season than you did last year. After all my years of bow hunting, it's probably one of the best kept secrets of mine that I'm giving to you freely. So let's head over here by the river of the stump and we'll talk about it. So I was sitting thinking about it the other day, about the fact that it's already post 4th of July, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, it seems like once the 4th of July hits, September comes pretty quick after that. It's like, you know, after 4th of July hits, you're through the first week of July, and now we're plumb into the second and into the middle of the month, and that puts season only a couple months away. That's not a whole lot of time. So if ever one was going to start thinking about what they need to do to be more successful and what skills they need to develop to be more successful at killing deer, which is what I'm all about, you got to start thinking about those things now. You might as well start thinking about those things now and making equipment changes and gear changes or whatever you're going to do. The single best piece of advice that I could give you going into this hunting season on how to kill more deer or whatever it is that you do, you know, elk hunting, pronghorn, bear, whatever. Get a pen and a paper so that you're not just sitting there thumbing through your brain, because for me that'd be a fool's errand. And write down the areas where you know you fell short on your hunting and the areas where you struggle, and start thinking about ways to fix it. So for me, without a doubt, every year I will end up taking a shot at a deer that I have no business taking. Maybe it's just a little bit outside of my comfort zone as far as the distance, something like that, and I'll miss. These are all examples of things that you screw up on. And another big one for me is getting trapped into a spot, getting married to a spot and not wanting to leave it. And instead of moving from that spot to this other tree line where I've already watched several deer go, but you're married to the spot. This spot's been good in the past. It's worked for me before. If they come by, they're going to be close. Well, they're not coming by. They're over there. And not only that, maybe the deer just aren't in your spot, your normal spot in general. Crop rotations change, feeding patterns change, they move. But what inevitably happens is, what I'm getting at is that you go through this whole year and never address the things that you said you were going to do. Those things you say, I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to change that next year. Well, this video is basically my friendly reminder to you to write down on paper the mistakes you made last year, the things you said you were going to do different, and start thinking about how you're going to change them. That's how you kill deer. You know, the shooting, the new equipment, you know, changing broadheads, all those things are great. But if you can't get on them and you can't hit them, and if they keep smelling you, they keep picking you out of the tree or picking you out of your ground spot, whatever, it's a fool's errand. You're not going to kill deer. If you want to kill deer, you have to make adjustments. So whatever mistakes that you're constantly making, maybe taking a shot that you shouldn't, that's a blown opportunity. You know, some guys say you miss all the shots you don't take. Well, that's not necessarily true. If you just set up and hunt a little better, you get better opportunities. So whatever's things that I'm doing that I'm not making sure, I'm putting myself right there. And one of those instances that I'll give you, just as an actual story and not just an example from a story. Last year, first week of season, I had a known trail, a known spot that I'd scouted. I glassed it through the summer. I knew these deer were coming out in this corner of this bean field off this trail. And the browse showed it, all the tops right off the beans in that one spot. I knew that's where these does were coming out every single night. It was going to be a gimme for filling a doe tag. Well, I went out and I found a really well-used trail about 40 yards off of that trail, both crossing the same ditch going into the same field. Well, I doubted myself is what happened. I knew those deer were coming out of that trail. I knew it had the most consistent sign, but I was trying to have the best of both worlds. I was about 20 yards from this one and about 20 yards from this one, which both of those shots are outside my comfort zone. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was just hoping for the best. I had a doe come by. She stopped perfectly broadside feeding at about 23 yards, and I drew down on her and let the arrow go. The line was perfect, and I mean just barely shot underneath of her and missed. And that one miss jacked with my confidence. I can honestly tell you that one miss, that single miss, even though the shot looked good, felt good, I thought it was a gimme, I thought that arrow was going to drop right in there, that really jacked up my confidence going into the season. And I really struggled with that because I felt like, for one, I should have been in a different spot, and two, I felt like that should have been a gimme. But looking back on that, this year I'm telling myself I'm going to stick to what I know. I'm going to trust my scouting. I'm going to hunt one trail, not two. I'm going to hunt one. If they go on the other one, then it didn't work out. I'm hunting this trail. I'm hunting for my 12-yard, 10-yard shot. And ideally, that'll eliminate that problem. As long as I do my part right, if a deer does come by and my scouting's proven right, it's going to be a good shot. You know, for you, maybe you're not used to taking, playing on the wind and thinking about thermals and stuff like that. This is the year you start thinking about that. Put it on paper to remind yourself and start thinking about it. Maybe you want to start hunting on the ground or hunting out of a tree. Maybe you need to move a tree stand. Maybe if you're a guy like me, and if you do hunt out of a tree stand, it's a ladder stand. The spot that it's been in is no good. It's the shots are too far. The deer are coming by too quick and moving through your spot too fast, where you can't get shots. Time to move it, or time to do something else. I mentioned getting stuck married with a spot. Getting over, for me personally, being a tree stand hunter at times, getting used to the prospect of abandoning a spot, getting on the ground, moving somewhere else, or just moving your stand, getting in the game, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't be afraid to do that. Being mobile, staying in the game, going where the deer are, not being stubborn and stuck in one place, that's going to kill you deer. All these things I've told you is going to kill you deer. Like I said, I'm trying not to be long-winded about this, but I want to stress to you the importance of getting out of your head. Get a piece of paper if you have to remember and remind yourself these things. Write it down, think about it, and don't do those things anymore. Break the old habits. This is the season that I'm telling you to break your old habits, learn new tricks, and kill more deer. Because if you're like me, what time you do have to get out in the woods, whenever you have little kids and a wife at home, you need to be using the most of it. And doing the same dumb crap over and over again, expecting a different result, is of course the definition of insanity. Don't do the same thing over and over again. Think back through the past. Think about those past mistakes and remember those mistakes. And look ahead and do something about them. That seems like a really simple thing, but it's because it is. But if you take that serious, make new plan, stick to your guns, and stop repeating the same old mistakes, you will kill more deer, more elk, more whatever. But you have to be thinking. That's the problem. A lot of guys don't think. They just go into every season the same old, repeating the same old habits and never address them. Every season is a new opportunity. Ditch the stuff you did last year that didn't work. Try something new this year. Get better. Hone your craft. That's how you're gonna get the meat on the ground. So thanks for watching this video, guys. I appreciate you watching my video. I'm sorry that I haven't been posting very often, but now that it's summertime, I don't have a whole heck of a lot else going on. I think I'll start trying to post up some more videos, maybe one a week like I used to do. So thank you so much for your views and support, guys. And what I really hope for you, if you don't, is the most important thing that you can consider changing in your life as far as mistakes and looking ahead is repenting of your sins and turning to Christ. Because as much as I love bow hunting, as much as I love archery, as much as I love my family, there's only one thing in my life that matters, and that's Christ above everything else. And if everything else isn't falling in line with that, then I'm wrong, because we're here for one purpose only, and that's the glory of the Father. So that's the most important change you can make. The rest of the stuff, that's just silly stuff. So thanks again for watching the video, guys. Get out, start shooting them bows, and I'll catch you next time.